y'all, I'm Elisa and I am the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and I want to share a flip through video with you. And to be honest, this was one I wasn't going to do, but I wanted to share these two journals in case you, like me, thought that the videos that you see on YouTube and the processes that you see shared on Instagram, in case you thought that those resulted in perfect scrapbooking projects, in case you thought that every person that scrapbooked was finishing their scrapbooks and you were the only one that was not finishing, I wanted to share with you these two journals from the beginning of quarantine, April 2020 and May 2020, to reassure you that those of us that are putting our work out there, we are not perfect. We are not getting all of the stories told, but we're all just doing our best. And so I just wanted to encourage you by showing you kind of where I was in these two journals. We're now several months later, and I like to I like to stay up on my scrapbooking. I like to stay up on my memory keeping. And so it's hard for me to go back, but I will be going back to finish these as I am simultaneously working on the current month. So let me just start with the April journal and I will show you a quick flip through. For April, I have a video on how I made this custom A5 sized traveler's notebook. This is using the Faith Kit from Felicity Jane. You can check it out. I am one of their subscribers, so I pay full price for the kit every month and really enjoy these supplies. So my cover, fun tassels, a little bit of mixed media to start. Loved it. Here's the beginning of quarantine. It's my husband and I out on the deck, a beer at the end of the week. Some of my favorite things about quarantine: sleeping later, more family time, slower pace, ordering out in Zoom calls. And again, a little mixed media rainbow here. Didn't quite turn out like I planned, but that's okay. That happens sometimes when we're experimenting. I loved getting to use these kind of pie chart pieces. And so this kind of documents our day, what schoolwork, computer time, playtime, and quiet time, and pictures of my kids as we ventured into virtual school. And of course, I know a lot of people are still figuring out what the fall will look like, but this might end up looking really similar in our house come fall. Here's my dog. She's a beagle mix, Penny. Love her. So my husband actually took this beautiful photo of her that I knew I wanted to document. And then just a fun little quarantine note. I had a friend that dropped this off at my doorstep in April. And if you remember back to April, this was much sought after, a huge mega pack of toilet paper, and not even just toilet paper, but the name brand, the good stuff. So I wrote a little note about how that is true friendship right there. All right, some more documenting of what quarantine looks like. Here's a little Zoom call with my Girl Scouts. Love them. I'm a Girl Scout leader. Love that group. And then here, my mom and dad live near us for the time being, and they surprised my kiddos by dropping Chick-fil-A off at our door for lunch. And that was super exciting because, of course, we were not going out very much. Here's what Easter looked like quarantine style for us. So I didn't have the typical Easter egg dyeing supplies that I would normally buy. So we actually just broke into my acrylic paint, and the kiddos had a great time painting their eggs with acrylic paint. It was very different, but still a lot of fun. All right, moving on to what Easter looked like. There's my kiddos getting their Easter baskets in the morning. I just typed it up a little bit about how we had church online. We had a family Zoom call. It was a very different Easter, but it was a beautiful day, still a beautiful celebration of our Christ and our Savior, and it was wonderful, actually. I love this spread. This might be one of my favorites just because of what it documents. My favorite thing to do with the kids at the beginning of quarantine especially was to take hikes, and we found these rocks that they loved. They loved going to what they called the rocks. They even named one of the big ones Rocky. And so it was just wonderful. My husband grabbed these pictures of all of us just hanging out at the rocks, and definitely one of the happier moments in April. Speaking of my husband, here we are at the end of a long week. Quarantine was hard, and a lot of these pictures are smiling, and it's wonderful, but it was hard, and so we got through it together. So a little note in there, instead of the stamp for that month said a day to remember, and I crossed it out and put a spring to remember. Had fun mixing and matching different elements from my Felicity Jane kits. Another picture of my sweet Penny. Love, love, love her. I got to include little paper clips, so I'm working on including some more touchable elements, I guess you might say. I love the puffy stickers. I love the paper clips. I like the texture that it involves. Love my torn up rainbow right here using some scraps from the kit. This is my constant companion in my craft room. For Earth Day, my son's teacher, they have a garden up at school, and of course no one was at school, but she went and left seeds up there that the kids could come and plant. So you could just go up on your own and plant seeds. So I took my son up to plant seeds, and I thought that was just such a sweet gesture for her. Just wonderful to help keep them involved. Loved, loved, loved that. And there is my sweet Bradley, and I wrote just how he hasn't had the easiest time during quarantine. He gets really shy on the Zoom calls. His new favorite place is to hide underneath my craft room table. I think he likes the quiet and the alone time, which I totally understand. And then we get to this. So that brings us to maybe 2.5 weeks of April. I have some pages left I need to go through and finish, but not done. And instead of finishing that, I just jumped into my next journal. So don't fret if you haven't finished it. Don't fret if you're like me and you prefer to scrap current pictures, because I do, and I do what I like. And quarantine, like I said, is really hard, and the inspiration was not always there. So sometimes I was so exhausted. Sometimes I was just worn out and I didn't want to scrap. So I will have to go back and scrap. I also didn't have as many pictures. We did the same thing every day. It was all the same. So I can go back and finish that, but let me show you now what May looks like. For the month of May, I also used Felicity Jane, but I mixed it up a little bit more. I started wanting to try some other kits, try some other styles. So I have primarily Felicity Jane as part of this journal, and then mix and match some hip kit clubs and some other things that I had in my stash. So the Felicity Jane collection for May was Hope. This is Hope, and you can see that right there. On the bright side, something we're trying to consider. I really liked getting this pom-pom trim, and I liked including it on different pages in my book. That is something that when I go back to working in these A5 journals, I will definitely go back to doing. So, all right, a happy moment. I took my kids to curbside pickup at Target, and you would have thought it was Christmas because they had not been in the car in like 6 or 7 weeks at that point. So I was just documenting that picture and writing just how funny it was, how excited they were to get in the car. My birthday is in May, so I wanted to document that. This is with one of the party sets. I'd have to think of, I'm not sure which company makes this, but this is 37. Got dressed, had a beautiful breakfast, had some socially distant Mexican food on my lawn with my parents. It was the first time we had seen them in like 6 or 7 weeks, so it really meant a lot. And I got to cut out this little piece with my Cricut, which is going to be celebrated here in the next couple of things. But May was when I got my Cricut Explore Air 2, which was super exciting. Really simple layouts. Another really simple layout. So the day before my birthday, we actually did a Zoom call with some great friends in Georgia, and at my request, everyone wore their wedding attire. So we all had our wedding dresses on, and the guys wore their suits, and it was awesome. And then midway through, we were all tired of wearing our formal stuff. So everyone took a break and changed, and then came back and enjoyed ourselves. So love that we got to reconnect with that group, and love that they were willing to be silly with me and wear their wedding dresses again. And here is my birthday, celebrating the actual day, cupcakes. My daughter planned a craft themed party, which was just perfect, and we just had the best time. And you can see these spreads really simple, just matting pictures on paper, just using fun prints that I really liked. And this one, I believe I have a process video for this. So this is the picture of when my Cricut Explorer Air 2 came in the mail, and I was asked to be a Cricut affiliate at the end of April and received my machine in May, and it was super exciting. I was so pumped, so I wanted to document that. And then of course I had to use my Cricut to cut out some pieces to incorporate into that journaling page. All right, back to a little bit simpler. These are from Hip Kit Clubs, mixing it up a little bit. We ended up choosing what we called a bubble family, like one other family that we hung out with because our kids were so desperate to see their friends. So some pictures of hanging out with some neighbors that we love, get dirty, watch movies, trampoline, and be together. Still documenting quarantine days. This is super simple. All I did was mat the pictures, add a little bit of washi tape, some alpha, simple as that. But these are documenting just drawing on the sidewalk and my cutie getting a new shirt and having a kindergarten Zoom call with the entire kindergarten from the whole school. Super crazy. Here is a spa day. Again, this is Hip Kit Club. In the back, these are some Maggie Holmes letters, some gorgeous stickers from Illustrated Faith from their rainbow retreat. And this was the day before Mother's Day. I got breakfast in bed and my little girl and I had a spa day. It was super fun. Here's Mother's Day. Again, some delicious food, flying kites, enjoying the weather. It was just a beautiful, beautiful day. And then we get to there. So if you think about it, Mother's Day was May the 10th, and I have this unfinished page and then lots to go. So I just wanted to share that it is fun to document, and it can be really discouraging sometimes to get behind, but don't fret, you're not the only ones. It doesn't have to be over the top every time. If you're wanting to catch up, do a simple spread like this. Print out the pictures, get them down, write the stories, and then just continue on. You can always come back and embellish, and that's obviously kind of where I was headed with this one, and that's what I will do is print out those pictures and continue. Let me know in the comments below, how is your memory documenting going? Are you right on top of it? Are you behind? Do you like to move on even when you're not done with a particular book or a particular season? Let me know in the comments below what your style is. Let me know I'm not the only one that has unfinished projects sitting around their craft room, because I'm pretty sure I'm not. I have different products that I had in here listed down below if you're interested in checking those out. I also have a link to my email newsletter that goes out every couple of weeks, so make sure to check that out. I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.